Dr. Maclin, welcome to New York.
Thank you for having me.
All right, all right. Now, like I said, I let them know a little bit about Dr. Mac, but a lot of people, have skin issues and hair issues. But before we go into that, we're going to talk about just who is Dr. Mac.
Dr. Maclin was really presented to help people with skin of color or issues. Many of us don't know what a dermatologist is, and that's my trade. That's my passion. And many of us can't get to a dermatologist. Many of us don't have the insurance to get to a dermatologist. Many of us don't know what a dermatologist is. But many of us have skin and hair issues that we look in the mirror every day, and then we try to figure out, like, well, what are we going to do? Right. And that's what I'm here for. I've been doing this for 11 years.
Now, and I know in 11 years, there's probably been a lot of women who have had different, whether it's topical issues, hair issues, skin issues. What's some of the experiences you've had in dealing with and consulting patients over the years?
Let's talk about the most important. Is the epidemic of women of color and hair loss. Okay? Hair loss and hair thinning is probably the #1 issue that we as women of color have. And we've had these issues because of the things that we've been doing to make ourselves more manageable, to make our hair more manageable, and as a result, it's led to a lot of issues. And I'm speaking particularly about a lot of the chemicals that we've been using, the braids, the weaving, the things of that nature that has really led to a lot of our issues. So that's #1. #2, I would say, is a common issue of dry scalp. And that sounds so simple, but it's really not that simple, because dry scalp isn't really dry scalp.
So now, a lot of women, unfortunately, acne. Acne is a video that we've done. A lot of you may have not seen it online. Dr. Mac and I, we shot several videos last summer for thisis50.com on acne, dry scalp, vitiligo, STD, nutrition. That's coming soon. We just chopped that one up. That acne video is like the #1 video, I think, globally around the world. A lot of people deal with acne. A lot of people get a lot of information about acne, a lot of topical creams, and you see the commercials. What really is some sound information that people need to know about acne and how to control it, Dr. Mac?
Right. I mean, you know what? Coming soon, we have the Dr. Mac Ac Pack and Dr. Mac Ac Attack. And we're going to make a lot of products inactive. Okay? And the reason I say that is because oftentimes there's so many products on the market that focus on a topical perspective. And when you really are trying to help someone to understand and get real solutions for acne, it really is internal. And that's one thing here in the U.S. that we really haven't focused on, is what we need to do from an internal aspect. We're so focused on what cream or lotion or whatever we're going to rub on top of the skin, but it's really what are we doing internally. And one of the main things that we need to focus on is vitamin A. I have a supplement pack that's coming out, in 2011, but it has a lot to do with the whole internal supplementation approach. And vitamin A is one of the main ingredients, because vitamin A is a vitamin that can be found in like carrots, broccoli. It's a main ingredient, but you can also find it in tablet form that helps to actually dry up the oil glands. So whether or not your hormones are revving up, which is what's common during like the teen years, and that's why like a lot of teens start getting acne, because the oil glands just get all buck wild. And so you need to shut those oil glands down, and that's what the vitamin A does. Now pregnant ladies need to be careful, because that can cause unwarranted side effects on an unborn baby. So we don't want to have pregnant ladies to take vitamin A at all, but that's like a key ingredient. That's one of my main weapons there, is vitamin A, but you got to know how to take it.
Now, it strikes me you said something very important, because a lot of people don't hear it unless you have the opportunity to speak with the doctor to know that it's really more so the internal health and
absolutely,
yeah. A lot of times we put these masks on our face and makeup or whatever is proactive or oxy, whatever, and some of those things may work, but I like the fact that you are what you eat, so it wouldn't make sense that the things that you put in your body will determine how your body is going to shine and how your skin is going to be reflected as well.
Exactly, because we are what we eat. I mean, your whole aura about how you look visually, all that stuff starts internally. Your skin, your hair, your nails, all that stuff starts from the inside of your body. So until you change The inside, I tell people, don't expect to look in the mirror and think that, oh, my nail's going to look good, my hair's going to look good, or my skin is going to look good until you change the internal.
Right.
So, you know.
Now, hair, you know, you were in, you know, good hair. Congratulations on that. And, you know, I watched it, and, of course, I loved it. And I learned so much about just black hair care, how much money is being spent in it, and what we do know and what we don't know. I want to talk about the hair because it seems like so many women are forced to use, I guess, what they call these lace wigs now or sewing.
Right.
What's happening with the hair?
What's happening is women are forced to have to find something to present themselves to public. Let's be real. We're not going to walk outside if we don't feel good about ourselves.
True.
Yes or yes, as I always say.
Very true.
So we find things to cover up our issues, but we don't. The problem is, on the other side, is that we don't have someone to really, we don't really know what to do to help to keep us from having to use the pieces to cover up a problem. So that's where my passion is. It's like, I just want to be able to help individually, and which is what I've been doing to like hundreds of thousands of women for like 11 years now, is to really help people one-on-one to understand, well, this is what's going on with you and your hair concern, because every hair concern is different. But my effort is, you know, in hopes that when I'm talking to you, that you're able to share that information with your sisters, your mothers, your grandmothers, or whomever, your cousins, about whatever that I'm speaking to you about your hair issues, so that then maybe you can spread that information throughout your family. Because it's a real issue. It
is, and I mean, and it's so rampant. And I see it in a lot of even with younger students, even younger students, students, but younger women. Is there now? You know what? When it comes to certain skin, because you know most people, you know, very self-conscious about their skin. I mean, I was in college, and I think everybody is. But there's a lot of myths about, you know, the things that we eat, whether it's chocolate, whether it's soda, whether it's too much fried foods. Are there some truth to some of the myths of some of these foods that we consume?
You know what? All that's a myth. I'm not agreeing with overindulging in chocolate or fried foods or all that kind of stuff, but all that really is a myth. It has nothing to do with skin. So you can still eat all that and indulge in it and still have smooth skin. But the thing is that, you know, if you are looking in the mirror and you're having some actual problems, because most people, when they talk about, oh, I'm getting this little pimple because I ate too much chocolate or Pepsi or Coke last night. That has nothing to do with it. But what has to do with it is the hormonal level in the body has been revved up, and that stimulates the oil glands in our body to get all revved up as well. That cause the pores to get clogged over, and then boom, you got some bumps going on. So all that other chocolate, and we can still eat that, but in moderation.
Now, this is something I want to ask, because actually I never, as long as I've known, I never asked this question, and I was told this by a dermatologist when I was younger, because I suffered from acne, I think up to 30, but in high school. And
you look pretty good doing college, though.
Oh, you didn't see me freshman year. But I want to say, but the doctor told me hot water is not necessarily the best to wash your face, because the hot water activates or can activate oil glands that can generate more secretions of oil. Is that valid?
Well, you know, the hot water actually can open up the pores more. It doesn't necessarily help to stimulate the oil glands to be more reactive, but it does open up the pores more. So I always tell people, don't wash your face or even your body in super, super hot water, because then your pores are open. So I always say, wash your body as well as your face in lukewarm water, and especially your face, seal it with cold water, as cold as you can tolerate. Even when you're washing your hair, the more you can seal your pores, everything with cold water, the better off it's going to be. But, you know, a lot of people can't tolerate the cold water, but it's going to seal it over and keep the smoothness going on.
Okay. Now, my audience is out here, some of you watching. The second half of this, you're going to have opportunity to come up here and do one-on-one ask questions. So if there's some ladies that are sitting out there that have some skin issues or some hair issues, or fellas, you know, you want to bring some advice home to your girl because maybe her hair, her weave ain't too
right,
tight.
We want
as you
all
want to be.
kind of questions.
We want to make sure we tighten it up. So definitely bring out those questions, all right? Definitely bring out those questions. But getting back to, so I want to talk about, you know, good hair. I learned a lot about that movie.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about hair, and I want everybody to know, though Dr. Mac is a, you know, celebrity skin specialist in hair, she's an MD, so she can talk about, you see it, MD, she can talk about a variety of things, but that's her specialty. But I want to really talk about it because for me, you know, I like hair, so I really want to, you know, get back to this hair thing. What do you think, because I'm sure women have, but what do you think how should women protect the hair right off the top? What's things you shouldn't do right off the top?
Right. Well, you know, I think that's a very difficult question because, once again, we have many women out there that are looking at themselves in the mirror, and they're seeing hair thinning, hair breakage, they're seeing hair just not growing in certain places, or frankly, hair balding. You know what I mean? They're thinking, wow, why am I looking like my dad? You know, my dad may be balding or whatever, and I'm like, why am I looking like that? And I'm 20-some years old. That's not acceptable, and it's very much treatable. And most oftentimes what happens is we succumb to the whole look. We're falling into the field where we have to have that straight look. You know, we have to have that European feel. Right. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but when it's overdone, I always say everything in moderation, you know, but when it's overdone, we have been overdoing chemicals for like a gazillion years. Right. And that has destroyed our hair roots. Anytime you putting harsh chemical that's in relaxers, which is the hydroxide chemical, and these companies trip me out because they say no lie versus lie. They say kitty perm versus adult perm. Let's be real, it's all the same. Right. I teach people to turn the back of the box over. Look at the ingredients, because when you look at those ingredients, you look at your child's kitty perm and you look at your adult's perm, it's the same ingredients. It's different packaging. The kid perm, they have the primary colors that may be fancy for the children, and the adult perm may have the different colors that are fancy for the adult. But the bottom line, the ingredients are the same, that adversely affect the hair roots and actually can kill the hair roots. And that's what's happening because you're putting the same hydroxide chemical over and over every 6 weeks, some people more. When the box perms came to the grocery store, we were in big trouble then, because that put the hands of application of chemicals into unprofessional people. And so you're getting people that are going, because I've treated many people at the emergency room setting. Wow. Young girls, we're talking 14, 15 years old, coming into the emergency room, their scalp is literally burnt out.
And that's something I learned, because, I mean, looking at the movie, there was a woman that said that her daughter's first perm was at age 3. Yeah. Now, I'm thinking about a 3-year-old girl, and little kids, their hair is still developing.
Right.
So
and
why would you put a perm? How nappy can it be at 3?
See, but see, right. And the thing is, we're trained to want to have straight hair, and I have no problem with that. I mean, we all want to have nice, straight, silky hair or whatever, and sometimes we want to have it curled up or whatever the case may be, looking good, kind of straight and yeah. But in any regard, the thing is, we have just overdone it. And we're doing it, we're not understanding how it should be done. So, you know, children at 2, 3 years old, even at age 10, up to age 10, the follicles are still not developed enough for you to be putting this harsh hydroxide chemical on the scalp. It's just going to burn out it's basically committing suicide to your child's follicles.
So I'm hoping, or it sounds like you're explaining to me, a lot of times I see young girls and like, or even women, and their hair, like this part is really light, like, and it's never coming back, basically.
The edges of the hair are the most, the edges all around the hairline is really the most fragile part of anybody's scalp. Okay, those hair follicles are the most fragile, and so if you pull too tight, whether it's too tight braids or weaving or whatever, or it's even the harsh chemicals, it's going to break the roots down. The roots are going to shut down, and the hair is not going to be there. So I don't care how much greases and lotions and potions that you're going to rub, and you're going to rub your fingertips off trying to get that hair. It's not going to work. And so that's why I feel that my duty is is to be out here helping to just spread the word in many different platforms that I can, whether it's through print, radio, TV, internet, film, whatever the case may be, because people just need to know that you just cannot just go and just do these things and think that, oh, my hair's going to grow in because this grease is at the local drugstore that says my hair's going to grow back in 10 days.
Now, I definitely want to address this. I'm fortunate. I mean, I work very hard to maintain and keep them from coming. But these are to my brothers in the audience. You know what I'm saying? Those razor bumps.
Yes.
Those very unsightly nest eggs under people's chins or something on the back of their necks.
Right.
I know any brothers in here experiencing razor bumps? All y'all blessed. All y'all blessed, huh? That's a beautiful thing. Right, okay. Well, so for those who are fortunately blessed, but they probably have a brother or a cousin they can bring their advice to, what causes razor bumps, Dr. Mack, and how can we prevent them?
Well, razor bumps happens because, you know, when a guy shaves his hair, the natural, and it happens mostly in guys of color, you know, especially African American men, okay? Because the hair follicle itself is curly, as well as the hair texture is more coarse, and it's also more curly. So when that hair grows above the surface, as soon as it grows above the surface, it's going to curl back over and re-pierce the skin. And as soon as it re-pierces the skin, there's going to be a bump and inflammation because that coarse hair has broken the skin. So then once skin naturally grows every day. Right. So you're going to get hair growing over this already curled up piece of hair. The skin is just going to grow over it. So then naturally you're going to start seeing an inflamed bump there. Because if you look closely, you're going to pick away that skin, which most of you guys probably do. Yes. You're going to get the tweezers out, and you're going to see that little curly hair that's right there. Well, my trick is that if you didn't let that hair grow out long enough to re-pierce the skin in the first place, you're not going to even get the razor bump. So that's why my trick, which is my trick with my husband and all the other guys in my family, look, shave every day. Awesome. Sounds harsh. They'd be like, oh, why do you have to shave every day? Oh, that sounds harsh and that's going to mess up my skin more. No. If you don't allow the process to start in the first place, that being the hair growing out above the skin surface to begin with, you won't even get razor bumps because there won't be any hair there to curl over to re-pierce the skin.
So now before, I pause and turn the audience over to you over to them.
I'm ready. Tell them we need to have all kinds of questions.
So I have those questions ready, but I want to definitely talk about your 2 signature products that's out right now so ladies and fellas can know, because I utilize Bonutri, so maybe that's why, I'm looking 26. I don't know. But let's talk about Bella Nutri and Bella Bow. Because Bella Nutri is for women and Bella Bow is for men. So I want to tell them about the 2 products. These are the 2 products that's currently available via the Dr. Mack site.
Right. For many years, once again, I focused on what we need to do from an internal basis as far as improving our skin and our hair, because we have always been focusing on what creams and lotions and potions, and you're going to rub your fingertips off trying to figure that out, okay? So with Bella Nutri, it's for women. I launched that in June of 2004. It's a nutritional supplement that's based off of marine protein and collagen that's working from the inside of your body. It's the critical marine protein that's key, okay? So if someone's allergic to fish or shellfish, they can't take it. Okay. So the thing is, you have to be consistent, at least for 6 months, because from a scientific basis, your hair roots and your skin cells really need 6 months worth of the nutrients for it to really become effective. And I launched Bonutri, which is the counterpart to Bella Nutri. So Bella and Bow. Bella comes in a pink box and Bow comes in a black box. But the active ingredients as well is the Bonutri. In the Bonutri is the marine protein and the collagen. And that was launched in 2008.
We're going to take a break, and we're going to come right back with Dr. Mack and some of the guest members and some of the audience members. So stay tuned.
Hey, do you have bad skin? I mean, do you always have problems trying to, get your skin right? You want that natural glow? You want to preserve your sexy? I got the perfect person for you. One of my favorites, and she's HU alum, Dr. Mack, a.k.a. Dr. Maclin. Now, me, I go by the name of your Royal Highness, Angie Ange, representing 93.9 WKYS, interactive hip-hop and R&B, representing the whole D.C., Maryland, Virginia area. The only person I trust when it comes to skincare is Dr. Mack. Holla at her. She got your back.
So my question was, as I'm getting older, how can I keep my skin clear and my hair healthy? Because I do relax my hair.
Okay. I have to say this. You look very young. Your skin from the distance looks beautiful. What's your age?
38.
Look very good, almost 40.
Hell no.
Because, yes, she looks fabulous. The under eye, her under eye area looks still smooth. Okay, so, you know, oftentimes people think, you know, the under eye area is the first. When I look at someone, I always look at their under eye area because that's like the telltale sign of like a person's age. But when you look at you, this area looks actually very nice and tight and smooth. So you're doing a good job. And oftentimes that has a lot to do with hereditary. Okay, so probably many people in your family have had quote unquote good genes enough that have spread to you, that have kept this area nice, tight, and very youthful, nice looking. But the best thing that you can do to continue that is to make sure also that you're taking care of yourself from the internal. Okay, so moving forward, because you also talked about the whole healthy hair thing, definitely check into the whole marine protein collagen complex that I speak about with my product Bella Nutri.
And will the collagen help me?
The collagen. Now, okay, yes. Now, a lot of times people will go to the doctors and they'll get like injectable collagen, which will disintegrate after like 3 or 4 months of use. So those are all temporary.
Okay.
But I preach more of the internal, because when you start changing your insides, you start seeing a reflection externally. So even though at 38, you're looking like you 28, really. Looking very great. You want to be able to continue that by keeping your internals in order. And that's also going to help to keep your hair follicles in order so that you can keep the hair growing and keep the hair from thinning, because you did mention that you relax your hair.
Yeah.
Now, relaxing your hair also shuts down your hair roots. And this is something that has been very much a topic that people are afraid to talk about, but I'm not afraid to talk about it because it's a real fact. The chemicals that are in the relaxers will continue to shut down your roots as you continue to get more relaxers. My answer to you would be, moving forward, do less relaxers as you're getting older.
Don't do everything.
Because heat can straighten hair. People have totally disregarded the fact about the ceramic, love the ceramic flat irons, okay? Fully ceramic though, not just a basic flat iron, because the other flat irons have different metals in there, and different metals heat at different temperatures. So you don't want to get burning of your hair when you're doing it. That's if you're doing it at home. Okay, so a fully ceramic flat iron is the best, and the longer you can space yourself out with the relaxers, you're going to be in good shape. So lastly, let me check your bag, because oftentimes there's a lot of makeup stuff going on there that can.
The makeup, I've just
you got this beautiful skin and everything, so.
I've got my bio silk for my hair.
Okay.
Although I have wind, but I know it messes up my hair. Does not.
Okay. I think I like the bio silk. Let me see what's in there. Maybe you might be able to read this better than me. See, when they don't, you know, it doesn't have the. Okay. I've heard this name before, and I've heard that it's a good product. But always make sure that when you're using products, make sure that the ingredients are listed on the back of what you're using.
Okay.
Even if it's a sample. If it's a sample, don't use it. Because you don't know what you're putting on your hair. You don't know what you're putting on your skin. You just use this, because somebody gave it because it was free.
You're making me scared.
That free may make your problem worse. Okay, so I don't know what's in this, so I tossed this, all right? Okay, my dear. Who are you?
My name is Donna.
Okay, Donna, very good.
I have a question about Crohn's disease and how it affects the skin.
Oh, wow, okay. Crohn's disease. Crohn's disease, guys, is first of all, if you don't mind me sharing, is an inflammatory process that goes on in the intestinal tract. Okay, the bowel, the intestines get inflamed, and so many different things can flare it. Okay, and it usually is passed on. It's a hereditary type of condition. And when it comes to the skin issues that goes on with Crohn's disease, can be many, and most commonly it's ulcers that can go on in various parts of the body, from the underarm, the genital area, in different areas of the body. But it also can mask in just, I've seen some different types of just various lumps and bumps that when I biopsied those areas, they came out Crohn's disease as well. So this is why when someone comes into the office that gives a history of Crohn's disease, and they have some sort of skin issue and we're not quite so sure, it's better safe to just go on and take a piece of that skin, send it to the microscope, send it to the lab, so that we can make sure that it's not a Crohn's manifesting sort of issue going on. So do you have anything in particular that you're having?
No, I just want to know if you have a recommendation for the skin.
As far as protective?
Right.
Okay. As far as protective, is just protecting, making sure that you're keeping the condition under control, which is going to come from, you know, your gastroenterologist, okay, or your internal medicine doctor. Whoever is keeping that part under control is who you're going to want to be best friends with, okay? That's going to avoid you from coming to a dermatologist, coming to us, because you keep that under control, the inflammation down in the body. And sometimes, unfortunately, you can't keep it under control. Sometimes there's times when it's going to be ups and downs, but the sooner that you just kind of hop on it, whenever you notice something, that's why I said be best friends with your, most likely your gastroenterologist, your stomach doctor.
I've had it for like 18 years.
Yes, it's very common, but the sooner that you can recognize something, the better off you're going to be, because then moving forward, you're going to be able to better control whatever issue that comes up. But pay attention to everything. You're doing good. You're looking good.
Thank you.
How are you?
How you doing?
Okay, yes.
My name is Wayne. All right. I'm an aspiring artist, and a lot of times with the profession that I'm going into, image means a lot.
Right.
And being that image is part of my marketing, sometimes I have like my nose gets oily, or I have a lot of like
shine.
Yeah.
Like you're shining a little bit light.
Yeah.
Shine. Yeah.
And I have like a lot of like sometimes I get pimples in like on my upper lip and on my nose. Not as much on my nose, but more like area. And I don't understand that. And you know, what can I do to like calm that down or stop it completely?
Okay. How old are you?
27.
Okay. So you're still in the 20s, the teens and the 20s. You're still in that age range where your testosterone hormone levels are still jumping up and down. They're bouncing all around in your body, and that is what's causing your oil glands to be very active. Just pick up some vitamin A, because that's going to help to keep your oil glands under control, because your testosterone level, which is out of control right now because you're still growing. Okay, you think you've grown, but you're not. Your body is still.
Thank you.
Yes, you're still growing, young man. Thanks to Earl Christian III of Urban Wall Street and his team. I want to thank Posse TV. I want to specifically thank also Juan Martinez of the Producers Club. Look forward to many, many more shows here, right here in Times Square Producers Club.